Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt J. Mack, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Woof, woof indeed. Wolfie, how did I get in here? I have forgotten the methods. Oh, the methods at which I made the hidey holes. But yeah, welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. The sun rises there in the east, and we are going to continue west here in this episode 319 of the series. Getting rid of some of our extraneous inventory that we do not need. And we're going to start out on the high seas, heading west towards the Far Lands. Like I said, episode 319. Today is Monday, January 27th, 2014. And we're still raising money for Child's Play charity. That is the big matzo ball about this, about this series is we're raising money for charity, for Child's Play charity. They help get toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. And this is season 4. Our goal for this season was $100,000. Some said it couldn't be done. Oh, it was done. It was well done. Crispy around the edges. We've raised, right now, we're at $169,244.42 raised for Child's Play charity. You can keep donating at farlandsorbust.com. That's where you'll find the little donation box that keeps track of donations, but also where you can press the donate button and give give some money yourself. And like I said, all of that goes directly to Child's Play charity and to their mission of getting those toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. And the reason we have destroyed the $100,000 goal is because back in October, we had, with our friends from the Mindcrack server, our friends like Good, BOO, Generic B, we had Etho on briefly, Zisto, Milby, Packrat, Avidia. The whole group of Mindcrack members did a 48-hour live stream, Mindcrack Marathon, where just in that 48 hours we raised $118,000. So it was a very successful weekend that then those funds, the deal was, those funds rolled over into the Far Lands or Bust total, which was already at about $48,000 for the season, and that's where we are currently resting at $169,000. And I'm going to because that happened so quickly, I'm giving some time in between the Mindcrack Marathon, which was a pretty significant event, and when I'm going to plan the next Far Lands or Bust Marathon, Flabathon, if you will, and I will, thank you. That is where I live stream Far Lands or Bust for a amount of time on twitch.tv/KurtJMack. And then at the end of that live stream is where I will finally press F3, and that gives us our coordinates. I haven't pressed F3 since August 2012. That was the last Flabathon, and that was when we got the number 699492, about 700,000 blocks from spawn. And I'm mentioning this because quite a few of you are coming from throughout the far reaches of the interwebs. I mentioned last Friday, that the New Yorker, Simon Parkin, interviewed me and wrote a very nice feature about Far Lands or Bust, about this crazy dude walking for 3 years to try to reach the edge of the Minecraft world here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, and it's been picked up as the ways of the internet work. It has been picked up by many other outlet news, gaming news outlet, and blog and features. It got regurgitated. It's like aggregation, news aggregation, if you will. The New Yorker published the first article, and then that's how these other publications learned of Far Lands or Bust and linked to that source. The Verge picked it up. More recently, since the last episode, Kotaku, Escapist magazine, Destructoid. People sent me a link from a French gaming blog. And I assume more and more, so we have indeed seen quite the significant uptick in both subscribers and views and just simple interest in Far Lands or Bust. So I very much appreciate, obviously, the original article from Simon over at The New Yorker, and also for everybody who read these articles and thought it was worthy enough to come check out at least a video and maybe subscribe. And that always helps. And maybe even donate. Perhaps we've gotten some donations to Child's Play charity, which is always helpful. Like I said, it is the reason we are doing this. It's like a walk-a-thon, I suppose you could say. So that has actually caught me pretty much off guard. I mean, obviously, I did the interview. I knew there was going to be an article in the New Yorker, but I had no idea. I should have, having lived on the internet for the past decade and a half or so. I should have known that's how it works, but not really expecting it. But welcome everybody who's new. I'm trying to talk in kind of a welcoming the new people voice, because a lot of the articles, especially the ones who simply referred back to the New Yorker article, may have gotten or omitted a few facts. Much like the point that we're doing this for charity, I should say. It's the majority of you guys who are raising all this money and donating. Ooh, look at this, kind of cool valley, sand dune valley, and you know, and it's not, you know, I see some comments in the comment section of blogs and things. Who wonder, you know, they removed the Far Lands. Does he know he's never going to make it? I know, and that's why I said I'm playing in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. This version of Minecraft is a couple years old. In version 1.8 Beta, they removed, with the adventure update and the new terrain, the Far Lands were accidentally removed, and that is why I never updated. And I know there's even now mods, and even with the default Minecraft launcher, you could launch old versions of the game. I'm not even using that. I'm using the original Beta 1.7.3 launcher, and I am declining to upgrade. I have separately installed the new versions of Minecraft to play, you know, on the Mindcrack server and play Mindcrack and multiplayer stuff like that. So that is why those cookies are crumbling in the fashion they do. And yeah, we're continuing on, and like I said, for charity. It's a big part of this. The people at Child's Play Charity have always been very supportive, and you know, for those of you also familiar with, say, Mario Marathon or Desert Bus for Hope, other gaming charities that go to Child's Play Charity, or other, you know, our friend MC Gamer does Zeldathon with this Fun for Freedom. That, you know, very similar, what's the word I'm looking for? Motives? This isn't a murder, I don't have to have a motive. You know, similar inspirations, I suppose you could say. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, set some of those things straight. Other people are wondering, you know, they got the last F3 number, about 700,000 blocks from spawn, and they're looking, oh, he's been walking for 3 years and that's all he's gotten? I don't do this all the time. I have recently stuck with a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule for Far Lands or Bust, and each episode, is 3 Minecraft days long, which means each episode is about 35 minutes long. So I'm not playing for 8 hours a day for the past 3 years. I surely, don't call me Shirley, but I surely would have made it by now if that was the case. And we're also taking, I suppose, we're going west. And as you can see with my compass, it's always pointing back to original spawn. That's how I know I'm going the right way and heading away, making sure that number, the coordinates are always enlarging. We're heading west, but I do deviate. I do check out some different lands. Obviously, it's going up and down mountains and around and oceans and stuff like that. So it's the journey, not quite the destination that we're experiencing here. And I did also get some, I've seen some comments, I've been reading the comments on the blogs who are like, hey, that's like, it's a really kind of almost, the word I saw that stuck out was like a zen way of playing a video game of, you know, I kind of got out of that boat too quick. we're kind of all alone in the world, and I've always, excuse me, Wolfie, always taken the same kind of approach where we're exploring these lands. It's a little bit of a nostalgic view of the old Minecraft terrain generation. A lot of people I'm noticing, tend to prefer that to the newer terrain generation, although they've been changing a lot of the terrain generation in the last few updates to kind of bring new features that may recapture the original wonder of this randomly generated world. Indeed. Oh, let's place a bed. I do sleep every night. This is a very dangerous journey. There is a lot at stake. I do not want to die. I haven't died yet. Not a single death in this Minecraft world in the past 3 years. So, let's keep that streak going and go to sleep before the mob spawn. And awakeness. Right, Wolfie? Right. And continuing on. I don't break the beds, because the bed will act as a respawn point if I were to die. So that's good so that I don't respawn all the way back at my original spawn near 0, 0. Some people might not understand that mechanic with Minecraft, but yeah, I kind of, every once in a while I do a little bit of a recap video. I'm not going to do a full one this time, but if you do go to farlandsorbust.com, there is an About page with frequently asked questions you can check out. About what we've raised in the past for Child's Play charity. There's obviously the Farlands or Bust playlists on my channel, seasons 1 through 3, and then this season 4. But there's also a thing called Flob Flashbacks, Farlands or Bust flashbacks, where I take little, 20, 30-second clips of memorable moments in the past that you can check out to get a little bit of a recap on some of the... There are some moments that are kind of etched into the history of Farlands or Bust, much like the moment we found Wolfie back on episode 32, much like the time we got blown into the sky by 2 creepers at the same time and came pretty low on health. Also, a few moments back at our spawn point when I first decided to set off for the Farlands. Fun stuff like that if you're not quite up to the task of watching from episode 1, you can get a little bit of a recap through the Flob flashbacks, and I should consider, with the renewed interest in Farlands or Bust, perhaps taking some time to fish out a few more of those things. Indeed. So, yeah, we're continuing on, and heading west. Excuse me. Terrain. One of the things that I do on this series is I don't, unlike most Let's Plays where the topics of conversation are the game itself, over 319 episodes, you start to run out of things to talk about in regards to that, so I do kind of treat this a little bit like a personal podcast or vlog type situation where I talk about anything and everything. I do take questions. If you're donating to Child's Play charity, there's a little comment field that you can include a question you might want me to answer or talk about on a future episode of Farlands or Bust, or the video comments, or on Twitter, Kurt J. Mack on Twitter, you can send me questions. I've compiled quite a few of those. What else? I wanted to talk about something else. Oh yeah, one of the reoccurring themes in these topics is that recently I have surmised... Oh, Wolfie, whoa, you took a bunch of damage for some reason. I don't know why, but that is why we keep a inventory of rock pork chops. Wow. That's scary. Yeah, this is Wolfie. We've had him since episode 32. We do not want to have any issues with that. So I need to find some more pigs. That's just... They look like bones. This is a texture pack. That's the reason why Wolfie has 3D glasses. Like myself. Top of the morning to ya. Also the reason why some of the trees look a little bit different colored, and my diamond sword of spawn pointiness is a little bit brighter blue than your standard diamond sword in this version of the game. But But yeah, that's why those are just raw pork chops, which is the food you feed to wolves in this version of the game, because zombies did not drop zombie flesh. They still drop feathers in this version of the game. So with that texture pack, since that's Wolfie's food of choice, it's been reskinned to like little dog treats, dog bones. But speaking of food, like I was saying, one of the themes on my channel is that I recently, within the last year, discovered that I am probably gluten intolerant. And it was about a year ago I was having some serious issues with my health, and, you know, some of you guys even suggested and put the idea in my head that, hey, maybe it's the gluten thing. So I've been on a gluten-free diet for a year. I never saw a doctor about it, which was the topic of much debate and fist shaking, saying that I should get actually, what's the word I'm looking for, diagnosed with either the full-blown celiac disease or just gluten intolerance. And I can say that this morning I did have a rare doctor's visit. I'm not a big fan of doctors. Not that I don't like doctors or that I'm afraid of them. I'm just nervous. I'm a nervous person, especially around other people. That's another theme, I guess. I'm a bit of a shy, kind of an introvert, so I embrace it as part of my personality. But because of that, standing in a room, in an operating room, you know, with the clothes off, getting poked and prodded by doctors is not my favorite moments in life. But saw a doctor this morning, and pretty much, you know, the doctor said that if it's been working for you, if being gluten-free for the past year is what has stopped you from having serious issues, then more power to you. You know, that's what is helping, then keep with it. I did have blood drawn, and they are going to do the blood test, but as they say, if you've been gluten-free and it's not in your system, then the antibodies that cause the reaction aren't going to be in your blood, so it could be a false negative. But the other option would be to go full DEFCON 5 and, hi Wolfie, and get a biopsy, and you know from where. But, you know, she said, you know, basically, if the gluten-free thing has been working for you, then go for it. And the reason I made the appointment is because I may have come in contact with some gluten at a certain point. I was eating at a place that wasn't exactly forthcoming about their gluten content, and I did have some of the symptoms again for like the first time in a year in the past week. So I'm like, I might as well make the appointment since I am having some of the reaction. And if it's true, then sure. But like the doctor said, if it's what's helped you, then stay gluten-free. So there's an update that I'm sure you've all wanted about my dietary restrictions. all of these new people from the New Yorker and Kotaku and everything, they're all like, I don't want to sit and watch 319 episodes of a guy talking about his stomach problems. Unsubscribe. No, please don't unsubscribe. But anyway, let me actually get to some of the questions you actually asked. I have some from the actual video comments and then some from people who donated Child's Play charity. From Opido in the comments asked, what is your favorite racing game of 2013? I don't know. Like, all of the racing games I'm playing either are in early access or they were released before 2013. I think the only racing game I played that was released in 2013 is F1 2013 with Vintage Beef. I have that series going on. When was Grid 2 released? Well, it doesn't matter because Grid 2 wasn't that great of a racing game to begin with. Yeah, I'm not sure. I believe that BeamNG Drive is a very excellent game, but again, that's like in early access alpha. It's not even, that's like pre-alpha still, isn't it? And it's not exactly a racing game quite yet. Next Car game is something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, but again, not a 2013 racing game. So I'm not sure I can answer that question, unless it's just the default. The only racing game from 2013 I played is F1 2013, then sure, F1 2013. But it has its own problems as well. I almost want to say I preferred the 2012 season. It was a little bit... I don't know if balanced is the word. It just I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to put my finger on it. What they changed in the new year that actually caused a little bit of confusion. I mean, I'm still having fun, obviously playing it with Vintage Beef. We're gonna go through the season and whatnot, but and even to begin with, I'm not a huge Formula One fan, or do I have too much expertise or know-how on the series to know everything. Like some of you guys are like, oh, don't you know that on this turn of this track you got to do this in this gear? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never heard of this track before. You're talking to somebody who before starting to play Formula One with Beef, I had no idea who any Formula One drivers were, except for, you know, the popular names you hear now and again. But yeah. So, kind of a crappy answer to that question, but it has been answered. Alright, let's build another elevated hidey hole. Bling and a blong. Woof! And a bloop. And a bed. And we will continue answering questions. Ooh, it's a boat. I should buy a boat. There it is. We'll continue answering questions in the morning. And a boatness. Spelunk. Let's go check that little area out. Oh, excuse me, I got my throat is parched. Water. Let's see. Other questions. Oh, from Johnny Trump in the comments asked, are there any games you're looking forward to playing? And what is your all-time favorite game? To answer all-time favorite game, I think I've talked about this before, but probably the original Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 1. Maybe there's a lot of nostalgia for me built back up into that game because it was, when I first got the actual PlayStation 1, it was the first game I actually played on the PlayStation 1, so it is kind of tied with that memory. But also it was kind of the first, I don't know how to call that generation. You know, before that, I went directly from Nintendo, the NES, to the PlayStation. So that was a bit of a generational gap in video games that I kind of missed. And so Tomb Raider was kind of the first, I don't want to say current gen, because current gen is now the PlayStation 4 and stuff, but the first, like, modern game, 3D game that I played, adventure game, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was really fun. I had to have played it like 5 or 6 times through. And it's kind of wrapped up in nostalgia, and there's, you know, certain things that I can think about that, you know, bring that back, which is why I'm a little bit, and you know, since then I bought and played each Tomb Raider game on release, which is why, for those of you who followed, I did play the latest one, why I was so very, very heartbroken at how much that game did not follow the Tomb Raider franchise. You know, it was not a Tomb Raider game to me. Perhaps it was a good game for other reasons, but for me, that just soured the whole deal, and it was not an enjoyable experience. So if you're looking for a Let's Play of that game that is incredibly pessimistic and snarky, then please go right ahead. That's a playlist you can watch on my channel. But yeah, definitely Tomb Raider. Also up there is Destruction Derby 2, again with my love of racing games as a great game. Recently, I liked Driver San Francisco. You know, again, just a fun game, you know, which is the reason I play games. I don't really play games to rack my brain over puzzles or very, you know, specific skill-based things. And I also don't play games for competition or PvP or getting frustrated at stuff like that. I like to just have, like, fun, like literal, like, moments where you're like, haha, fun is happening. Or, you know, just setting off and walking in one direction for 3 years is generally another way I like to play games. Careful, wolf. Hey! Dang guy. Screwball. Bloop. Woof! So yeah, that kind of in that area of favorite games, I will say that much. Games I'm looking forward to playing. And again, this whole surge of early access, pre-alpha access games have kind of changed that. You know, it's not really like, oh, I can't wait for this game to come out. It's like, oh, I can play it in its current state for early access. You know, like I said, BeamNG Drive, the NextCar game. I mean, I guess Watch Dogs I am intrigued by. Mostly because it takes place in Chicago, and from at least the trailers, it very accurately represents what it's like to be like on the streets of Chicago. And also, it's developed by a lot of the team who was involved in Driver San Francisco. And actually, there were recent articles that were saying originally they started making a new racing driving game, but it was kind of scrapped, and that team and whatever what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever assets they had going for that, they took and brought into now what has become Watch Dogs. So I feel like it was almost going to be like Driver Chicago, which would have been amazing, and I would have played the bananas out of that game, but it's now Watch Dogs, and I'm looking forward to it, but cautiously looking forward to it. I'm just not sure how everything is going to meld together with the whole, like, controlling the grid, and, you know, I'm afraid that those sort of actions are going to be controlled via QuickTime events, and those don't mix well with me. I do not play well with QuickTime events. You know, it's cautiously optimistic. Of course, it's also been delayed another year. I think it's been delayed to 20, like even another. When was it coming out? 2015? Now it's like 2016 or something like that. Check the Googles for the precise thing on that. But so yeah, that's a game I suppose I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I haven't been. Oh, I guess another cautiously looking forward to is the No Man's Sky, who right now just have that trailer, but the interesting concept of, again, Minecraft, procedurally generated worlds and stuff like that, the procedurally generated universe, maybe not universe, I think it's more of like a galaxy with stars and planets and discovering and then being able to see the other worlds of other people that they've discovered. Kind of, I don't know if it's going to be multiplayer or just the worlds exist, who knows, but that, you know, that's something worth looking forward to. Trying to think of what else. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say that. Otherwise, like I said, the next car game, the games I've already played, that we're looking forward to. I very much am impressed with the direction Assetto Corsa is going. You know, that feels kind of like the game that Grid should have been, but it's gone far more arcadey than I personally like. So yeah, there we go. Let's see. Speaking of driving games, William W. asked, is Euro Truck Simulator ever going to come back? Probably not. That was a game that I got on sale that, you know, I have a racing wheel. I figured I'll try it out. But, you know, it was fun for the 4 or 5 episodes I put up there, and I think the fun part came from the fact that I am an American and I have no idea about the laws or the driving rules of around Europe, so I think a lot of the hilarity came from the confusion about that. But there's only so much you can milk that cow, and I believe I have milked that one dry. So yeah, I'm probably done with Euro Truck Simulator. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that you liked that series, but it was one of those tycoon games. That's another type of game I'm not really Hey, Spider. How are you? We're gonna go to the far lands. Are you gonna follow us? Come along. Woo! Oh, God. Whoa, we got really close. Got mixed up by that tree, didn't you? Oh, you're gonna stay behind? Alright. See you later. Well, actually, we won't. We won't be coming back this way, but have a good day. Yeah, we're going, Wolfie. Just pay no attention to the Spider. Ooh, that's a nice, gentle hill. So yeah, Euro Truck Simulator. It's probably the end of that. TGK Craft 3 on YouTube asked, has he ever hit a mushroom biome? I have never hit a mushroom biome because they do not exist in this world. This is, like I said, beta 1.7.3. I don't even think the mushroom biome... Did they exist when they added 1.8, or was that added later when they changed the terrain generation to include the forests, but also the villages? And well, I don't think even villagers weren't involved until later. It was just the empty villages in 1.8 and your certain terrain, the biome updates, the ocean biomes that extended forever and ever and ever, and you know, stuff like that. Of course, they've once again changed the terrain generation recently in the full version 1.7. And actually, the first time I pressed F3 was 292.202 at the end of Season 2. 2222. And that seed in 1.8 to 1.6 spawned you in a world that was in the middle of the ocean. It was just this tiny island, not a single tree, in the middle of a huge ocean. And I started a short series on that, but I tested that again, and in the latest version of Minecraft, that is no longer the case, because they switched so that the worlds wouldn't generate such endless oceans. So the 292.202 seed no longer spawns you on that island. So many things have changed. Yet not much at all here in Far Lands or Bust, because we haven't updated. Indeed. You there, receive. Ah. So let's, yeah, thank you very much for all those questions. Like I said, those came from the comments on an episode in the past. I will get to, like I said, I have quite a few questions from the donors to Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com, so you can get your questions in by donating there and adding that to the comments field of the donation box. And I would appreciate that, and as would Child's Play charity and those kids in hospitals who are... Whoops. Do not do that. We need some security. There we go. And like I said, it's a great cause to get behind. They've always supported us, Far Lands or Bust, and I'm looking forward to continuing to support them. And of course, on probably the next Flobathon as well. What am I trying to do here? I need to put down my crafting bench. Which, as I said, right now, scheduled for Saturday, March 1st, 2014. I almost said 13. March 6th is actually the 3-year anniversary. 3-year? Yeah, 3-year anniversary. I started in 2011 of the start of this series, so that's why March 1st is a good time to schedule the Flobathon. So keep your calendars updated with that, and if you want to get a step ahead, you can subscribe on twitch.tv/KurtJMac to get notified of any test live streams I'll be doing in the coming month to make sure I have all the things set up properly and whatnot. So indeed, yeah, and once again, thank you everybody who has found Far Lands or Bust and my channel and the charity thing and everything we've been doing for the last 3 years here through these various, the source, the New Yorker website, the New Yorker article, but also all these other websites who are picking up on the story. I really do appreciate you checking this out and your support for our continued journey, which will continue on Wednesday. So until then, thanks so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.